Today we'll be discussing the next topic in toxicology, that is cyanide, which is also known as the hydrocyanic acid or prussic acid. The source include various origins, which are the fruit seeds ingested as a part of healthy food diet plan. Some contain toxic levels of cyanide. Amygdalin is one such cyanogenic glycoside that is present in the seeds of apple, peach, plum, apricot, cherry, and almonds. What happens to amygdalin? It is hydrolyzed eventually into hydrocyanic acid through the steps as follows. Amygdalin is hydrolyzed in the presence of beta glycosidase, which gets converted into mandellonitrile glycoside. This mandellonitrile glycoside is further hydrolyzed into glucose and mandellonitrile. And finally, the mandellonitrile gets converted into pronase benzaldehyde and hydrocyanic acid. This is one source of hydrocyanic acid. Next is a very pharmaceutical preparation that is used in therapeutic purposes, especially for essential hypertension. That is sodium nitroprusside. What happens to sodium nitroprusside? The photochemistry of nitroprusside is as follows. In light, there is fairly a rapid conversion of nitroprusside to aqua pentacyanoferrate ion. This reaction results in no distinct color change, so it remains unnoticed on visual inspection. In nitroprusside, the cyano groups are held very firmly and are never released in the normal chemical reaction. However, this is no longer applicable to aqua pentacyanoferrate ion, where the cyano groups are quite labile and readily released. In acid solution, this results in formation of volatile hydrocyanic acid. In the calorimetric assay, incubation of the samples in light, either sunlight or artificial light, is long enough for conversion of nitroprusside to aqua pentacyanoferrate and release of hydrocyanic acid from that ion. So you need to take precautions when administering sodium nitroprusside to a patient of essential hypertension, that no sunlight or artificial light enters that chemical to finally convert it into aqua pentacyanoferrate, leading to hydrocyanic acid production. Next, third source is also very important. For example, there's a fire in the building, and today being the industrialized age, there's a lot of plasticware in the building, like in form of LEDs, computers, telephones, and other machines. So what happens at higher temperatures? There is decomposition of these polymers. After the initial stages of inert atmosphere thermal decomposition, where the polymer precursors are reformed and volatilized, the decomposition products tend to fragment into smaller molecules. Yellow smoke is produced up to around 600 degrees centigrade, where it then decomposes to give a family of low molecular weight nitrogen containing products, which include hydrogen cyanide, acetonitrile, acrylonitrile, pyridine, and benzonitrile. The most notable and abundant of this is hydrogen cyanide, which increases in yield from 700 to 1000 degrees centigrade. At 1000 degrees centigrade, the hydrogen cyanide produced accounts for a range of between 3.8 and 7.3% by weight. The mechanism of decomposition at higher temperatures, up to 70% of the nitrogen is converted to hydrogen cyanide at 1000 degrees centigrade. And this hydrogen cyanide produces a characteristic odor of bitter almonds. So whenever a rescue team walks into your ER bringing people from a burning building, if there is a smell of bitter almonds in any of the victim's breath, immediately treat that individual for cyanide poisoning to save the life. Next is the mechanism of toxicity of cyanide. Cyanide produces histotoxic cellular hypoxia by binding to ferric iron. The body has more than 40 enzyme systems that are reported to be inactivated by cyanide. Most significant of these is cytochrome oxidase system. Now, what cyanide does to oxidative this phosphorylation? It disrupts the oxidative phosphorylation and the electron transport chain. How? The cytochrome oxidase system is responsible for the production and generation of ATP eventually. Now what happens is the system consists of cytochrome alpha A3 complex of the electron transport chain. When cyanide binds to this enzyme complex, electron transport is inhibited. And eventually what happens is that electron transfer from cytochrome A3 to molecular oxygen is blocked. And consequently no ATP can be generated because this is dependent on cytochrome oxidase at the last step in oxidative phosphorylation. This results in reduced cellular utilization of oxygen and increased venous PO2. Now what the point is to be emphasized here is that oxygen is present, but the cells are not able to utilize that oxygen. Cyanide intoxication has the same pathophysiologic effect as a complete lack of oxygen. Since there are several metabolic pathways which converge on the electron transport chain, finally what happens is there is impairment of the cellular oxygen utilization. It reduces the aerobic respiration with a decrease in pyruvate conversion in the Krebs cycle, eventually leading to increased production of lactate, which causes metabolic acidosis. In cyanide toxicity, the quantity of oxygen that reaches the tissues is not affected, but the cells are unable to utilize the oxygen. And this particularly differs from the carbon monoxide poisoning, where tissue hypoxia is due to insufficient amount of oxygen available for tissue utilization. What happens is monoxide just binds to the cells, to the heme group, and it binds to the hemoglobin and does not dissociate, and round about 250 molecules of oxygen are required to dissociate 1 molecule of carbon monoxide. So there oxygen is not available. However, in cyanide poisoning, excessive oxygen is available, but it is not being utilized. It cannot be utilized in the electron transport chain to generate ATP. So in essence, a victim of cyanide poisoning suffocates from an inability to use oxygen, and since only the cellular utilization of oxygen is impaired, venous blood becomes almost as oxygenated as the arterial blood, and hence there is no cyanosis that can be observed in such poisoning. What happens in the characteristics of the poisoning? There is weakness, dizziness, headache, tachypnea, tachycardia, and this is followed by rapid progression to a stupor, combative phase, and finally apnea, generalized convulsions, and death. Thank you.